Robert, peace. Yo. So today I want to put something on record. So I have my receipts. First things first, round robin music video is out now. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Check out the music video. It's on my channel as the feature video. And Mileage album coming out soon. I'm about to drop another single shortly. Just decided today. And also the Mileage movie is coming out. You can go to my website, samuraiblackmusic.com, and grab my entire catalog. Grab any songs that you want off of it, any albums you want off of it. Grab some merch, Samurai Black hoodie, got t-shirts, got phone cases, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, feel free to splurge. Okay, so first, before I get to what I started this for. So my distributor, one of my distributors, DistroKid, has decided to pull my entire catalog off of streaming platforms. Now, thankfully, they are not the only distributor I was using or have been using. So I still have some songs that are up there, but most of them, for those of y'all who search for them, if you like look on, looking around on my channel or looking on YouTube Music or Spotify or Apple or anything like that, is not gonna be there. It's gonna be gone. And the reason for this is bullshit. Essentially, they're saying I owe them a payment that I don't owe because I already paid the payment. So, working to get that resolved. And I'll get that squared away. In the meantime, I am going to drop a new single. But this is the reason why. Suggesting for those of you who want to support, for those who enjoy my music, my message, all that kind of stuff, suggesting that you go to the link in the description, samuraiblackmusic.com, and you can buy the songs directly from me or buy the albums directly from me, and you can you'll be able to have it forever. Now, one thing that I don't really stress enough for my music as far as that goes, you can name whatever price you want. So you can spend $1 and get a full album. Same thing with songs. I think the minimum that it'll accept is like 99 cents or something like that, and that's just kind of for sake of the payment processor. Like they're not going to process like a 10-cent order, because it'll cost them more to do that than it'll be worth. So you can name your price for whatever musical works that you see on my site, and feel free to grab that. Also, I have, for those of you who are fans of 1440 Top, I do have the limited edition Bills Be Hollering tee from the viral Jesus Homeless freestyle. That's also hosted on samuraiblackmusic.com, or you can go to 1440top.com and it'll take you right there. And he also has that up on there for name your price. I think the minimum might be $30 or something like that. But all proceeds from 1440 Taz merch on my site, it all goes to him. I'm not gonna try to, snatch a buck off a homeless man. Ghost Patrol, what's up? My name is Ghost Kakasha Saputra. I'm from Indonesia. Nice to meet you. Already liked and subscribe. I appreciate you. Pleasure to meet you. So, for the main event today, for the main topic, and again, I'm just coming on here to put something on record because this is what I've been talking to my team about and what I foresee happening. Because when it comes to marketing and kind of the state of social media and all that kind of stuff, looking from an eagle eye view, I have a very good eye for it. I've been in marketing for 10, 15 years. And I've seen the advent of all the different social media platforms, and even before that, when like Google SEO was the whole thing, and everybody was using Yahoo Mail and AOL Instant Messenger and all that stuff. So I can see how this is gonna flow. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold claim. Within the next 3 to 6 months, you're gonna start seeing on your explore pages on Instagram, all over your TikToks, all over YouTube community posts, X posts, you're gonna start seeing these manga style or comic book style image slides or carousels flooding the market. You're gonna see it. And let me tell you how I know it. I'm gonna tell you who created this style. So when you do see it, you can remember this talk that we had here of who brought it first. So I'll just go ahead and say it. I created this style. I saw an opportunity. I saw a new tool had been released that has very, very high precision when it comes to creating these kind of graphics. And I created a custom AI agent or bot that can create them efficiently en masse and even automate them. I'm going to be selling a course for this soon, but that's not going to be on Samurai Black. That's going to be through Bushido Instincts, my media consortium. And so this is what I saw. Okay. So I stumbled upon, and I'm kind of working in the field and stuff like that. I stumbled upon this format, and it kind of strikes an idea. So I enlisted my robots, my automatons, to create me a structure that can replicate this format for any brand, for any niche, for any topic, all basically consistently over and over again. Replicate this style, all right? When I had it, I had it. Then, if you're gonna say something's gonna be viral, you gotta put it to the test, right? If you're saying something's gonna start spreading all over the place. So I put it to the test. I had already created one of them and utilized it for my business, Bushido Instincts, and my team is creating basically multiple of these, many of these per day, and we're releasing at least a couple of them a day. So what I decided to do as Samurai Black was I looked at this, I was like, okay, how can I use this for my brand now that I've created this new style, this new format? And I realized, I can use this to illustrate Dr. York's case, Dr. Malachi Z. York. For those who don't know, Dr. Malachi Z. York is the master teacher. He has written over 1,200 books on many, many different topics, things that a lot of people wouldn't be able to pull forth because they weren't tapped into. He walked through basically every order, every secret order, ancient order, from Freemasonry to Shriners to Judaism to Islam to Christianity, and basically pushed up to the highest ranks of this. So he was able to obtain certain secrets and certain sacreds that were not available out. And then he came out and started teaching it. And he had been doing this since the 1970s or something like that, all the way up until he was unlawfully incarcerated and sentenced to 135 years in Colorado ADX Supermax prison, which is the highest maximum security prison in the United States, for crimes that he did not commit. How do I know he didn't commit them? Because I went through the case files thoroughly. And I'll be releasing more information on that soon. But if you are to search, you can actually search the untold story on Dr. York. What's up, I am? It'll give you a lot of the kind of the background on it and show what was happening when they raided his land, because he also founded a 476 acre, basically a sovereign community called Tamare. And this was in Putnam County, Georgia. And there were people that were thriving. They would come through, they would learn multiple languages. They had their own currency, their own emergency services system. They had, basically everything. It was completely self-sustained. But they also would, engage in trade and stuff like that with others and all that kind of stuff. But this was really like a cultural hub for the true ancient Egyptian history and lore, as some would call it. And people could learn those ancient Egyptian languages on the land, and just from everything I've seen, it was a beautiful place. I'm kind of, I kind of wish I was able to actually go to visit it while it was still in operation. So basically, when multiple organizations decided to come together, they conspired with some individuals that were disgruntled, and some of them had pending cases that were about to be put on them. So several of them were going to be going away for a long time. Some of them had drug cases. There's one guy that had a murder charge. There's other people that had other cases and things. And basically someone went to the feds and said, hey, I want to take down Dr. Malachi Z. York, I'll do whatever for it, blah blah blah. So they went out and they got a bunch of people to conspire and make up lies on him. Some of them they pinned their crimes onto him, and they received immunity from prosecution. Some of these individuals you may have seen in recent documentaries, such as the documentary, I think it was called "How I Escaped the Cult" on the Unseen YouTube channel. Documentary straight bullshit because the person who was presenting that is full of shit, and they were actually given immunity because they were committing the crimes in which they were accusing him of. Um, I have a lot of documentation on these kind of things. So, understanding that there's a lot of people who might come across the name Dr. Malachi Z. York and they'll see what it says on Google, they'll see what it says on Wikipedia, they'll see what it says in all these different news articles and stuff like that of people who either A, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or B, they have a vested interest to lie on his name. What's up, Fatma? I took it upon myself to kind of again do some more research into it and dig in and see how I can present the truth to the people because I can see it plainly from the case files. I've done a full analysis of it. I've talked about it at length a few times, but I'm going to be presenting more works that will properly demonstrate this. So the idea that sprung to me based on what I had discovered as far as this new style of content was let me go ahead and create a manga style or comic book style series talking about what actually is really going on with Dr. Malachi Z. York's case and how these things came to be, how these things came to pass. And so I went ahead and created a post. As soon as I got the idea, I just started writing, scripting it out, scripting out the different slides for it, and ran, passed it off to my bot, and away we went. And we started creating this imagery with it. Went ahead and posted it. And within the first 12 hours, now this may not seem significant, but I'll just go ahead and say it. Within the first 12 hours, it got 10K views. The reason why I say this is significant, even though 10K views doesn't seem like a lot, is because one, it got hundreds of comments and hundreds of shares. Two, it I posted this on my Instagram account for Samurai Black, which is pretty heavily shadow banned. It has been for years. This has been made known to me, and I'm not the type of person that usually subscribes to the idea of being shadow banned. I think people when they say that they're just coping, but I know my shit is because I know what I talk about. I know who doesn't necessarily want me to reach the masses. I've done I've done the science. I've done the experiments on it. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh wow, if someone else, let's say if they had a brand that already has some motion, maybe they got a couple 100,000 followers, and they decide to post it now, it's gonna go absolutely berserk. It's gonna get millions of views. Okay, so what if I actually pass this off to the people and create a product out of it, create a course, and go ahead and sell that course so that other people can learn how to do it too. Make it a low ticket price, $100, $50, whatever, and just put it out there and see what happens, right? So I recorded that course, and now I'm in the process of creating more issues of the series on how Dr. Malachi Z. York is innocent in talking about his case. So you're going to see much more of this coming out. I'm going to have to adapt some of them to YouTube because I think YouTube, it takes a slightly different format, but I will start posting them in my community posts as well. And I'm just going to go all in with this, not just talking about his case, but his case is absolutely pivotal in my opinion. I think it's something that the whole world needs to know what's going on with it. So that's why that's going to be, one of my essentially my primary priorities, putting that together and some other works that I have in store regarding this case, but also just in general, just expressing, the music industry as I see it, expressing, the different things going on in the world that people really need to know about and really have like, and this is kind of like the beauty of me kind of creating this new style is it gives a way to put a visually appealing format on things that are kind of difficult to explain visually or kind of difficult to express, like for example in video, etc. So I think, like, manga and comic books and stuff like that, these are things that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people either grew up reading comic books, whether it's Marvel or DC, or maybe they liked anime and manga, so maybe they were reading Shonen Jump issues and they're a One Piece fan or a Naruto fan or whatever, and they read through those. Okay, well, this is presenting this information that I find to be very important in a very digestible and a very simple and very clean format, a very visually appealing format, to where people can share it around, and they can, I even saw somebody yesterday who said, we should print these out, and they just start posting them up around their city. And I said, by all means, go ahead and do that, because it'll work either way. We're human beings. One thing about us is we're very visual creatures. So if we can see things laid out in a visual way that can catch our attention, it's colorful and also organized and clean and presents it, like, as far as, like, let's say if it's information that may be kind of dense, then we can condense that information and distill it and actually be able to take in the messaging that's in it. So that's why I think this is a very very special format I've created. So I'll just go ahead and reiterate here that when in the next 3 to 6 months, when you see all of these viral manga style carousels and comics and TikTok posts with the slideshows, or wherever you see it, I'm gonna put it on the table and say that that was me. I started that way, and I feel that this is necessary to do because I've come up with ideas in my mind and given them to people for free that were around me, or maybe they were aligned with the same mission, and they went off and made millions of dollars with it. I'm gonna repeat that. I've come up with ideas that I've given to people around me or people aligned with the same mission for free, and they went off with it. They ran off and they made millions of dollars with it. I know this for a fact. This is truth. You don't gotta believe me. You're gonna see. And I have, when I think about those things in the past, I don't really have a super huge issue with it, because at that time I was really, really aligned with that mission. And I'm the type of person, when I'm in something with you, there's a couple of us that are on the same objective, or a group of us that we're trying to really get this thing done. I don't give a fuck who takes credit for it. I've never really had. I'm not a, this might be a fault to a degree, but I've never really been the type of person to try to figure out, how am I going to monetize this first? How am I going to get my credit on this first? Most of the time I don't care. Most of the time I just like seeing, I like seeing thoughts that I have in my mind, or actions that I take with my pen in my hand, create ripples throughout this realm. But this time, this time I need all my chips. Please and thank you. This time I need my credit. So again, it's the third time and last time I'm gonna say it on this recording, and I really had to put this on record. When you start seeing viral manga style or comic book style carousels or slideshows on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I'm letting you know that was me. That was my pen. That came from my brain. And I'm not just going to be saying this, I'm a practitioner as well. So I'm going to start showing more and more of these on all my social platforms every day. I'm going to start showing what can be done with this. I've already gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of views off of these. And I only just came up with this idea like less than a week ago. Mind you, I wasn't really getting any views before this. So that's how I know how potent it is. Some of you all that may pop through on this, and you may see this might not really matter. You might not be interested in marketing or brand building or anything like that. You might be a consumer. That's your prerogative. That's fine. For those who actually do build brands, for those that are artists, for those that have businesses and they push their own brands and stuff like that, when you start seeing what happens with this, you're gonna see how significant this is. And you're gonna see this nigga sitting here with the Rugrats t-shirt and the messy dreadlocks hanging down over his shoulder. Might be might be a little bit more powerful than you think, because it goes well beyond just this. You know a man by his works, right? I don't really take things people say just based off what they say, because people could say anything. I don't believe anyone or anything. I don't subscribe to belief. I don't even believe what other people say about other people, because people will make shit up all the time. And I'm not interested in playing the 6 degrees of separation or the telephone game, because most time people don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they're talking. I'm telling you with this, though, and again, you don't have to believe me. With this, I know what I'm talking about. It's about the star system. First, you're gonna see it from me. If you if you follow me on Instagram, make sure you subscribe. You can hit the links on my channel. Follow me on Instagram and see what I'm about to do with it on there. But also, you're gonna see it from my company, Bushido Instincts, at Bushido Instincts on all platforms, or at BushidoInstincts.ai for our sister company, Bushido Instincts Automation Systems. You're gonna start. You're gonna see it first. We're gonna blow it up first, and then other people are gonna see it, and they'll be like, "Oh shit, this is fire. How do I do this?" Some people might come to us and purchase the course and figure out how to do it directly from the source. Some people are gonna be sharp enough to go figure out on their own. I got a teammate I just showed a little bit of it, and he went off and he started building it for his brand. I'm totally fine with that, because I want to see him succeed. I want to see people actually be able to put out really powerful messages with this kind of stuff. I want to see people put out things that matter, and this is why I really want to give it out to the world. So at some point, I'll probably give it out for free. But in in the meantime, I need my chicken. But seriously, like this is, I think the beauty of this is, especially when like these new things happen, right? Like we all saw when short form content started dominating all the platforms. Started on TikTok, then YouTube picked it up with shorts, and then Instagram picked it up with reels, and then it popped up on X and Facebook and all these other platforms. Snapchat started pushing it. Then it was, it was the new wave, right? There's a certain period at the beginning of these waves to where people individuals, or small groups of people have the ability to take advantage of these waves and really maximize it and really get a massive amount of attention and really build massive brands and businesses before the masses catch on. Because when the masses catch on, that's when these other larger companies are going to catch on. They're going to find either a way to exploit it to where the small people can't really utilize it, or they're going to find a way to stop it from happening. The first that basically that's called a paradigm shift. If you read the book, I think Changing the Paradigm Future or something to that effect by Joel Arthur Barker, you'll see he breaks this down how this has happened through different technologies and different eras and stuff. I think he goes back to like the 1800s and runs it up to the present time of when he wrote the book, which is I think was like the 1990s. But you'll see the same process all around. It's only increasing in speed, and it's only gotten faster since the advent of the internet and the advent of social media. So that's that. That's all I wanted to say for the record. Round Robin music videos out now. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Go check out the music video on my channel under featured videos. You can feel free to follow me on any other social media platforms. Mileage album is coming out soon. If you want to be in touch with what's going on with it first, you can either join the Telegram, which is in the description, or go to samuraimusic.com, where I announce all the updates first. You can grab any song in my catalog or any album in my catalog, pay whatever the fuck you want for it, and it's yours for life. So that in times like these, when platforms decide to strip my entire catalog off of streaming platforms, now you can still access it and listen to it. Hear some good music, some good messaging, get inspired, feel like you want to get up and go do something. What else? We got Samurai Black merch up. Samurai Black's logo number 4 series hoodie. Heavy Armor hoodie is out. Got the t-shirts, got phone cases, duffel bags for those of you guys who like to go to the gym. Have some limited edition prints as well in series for like um, some albums that recently came out, like Soul Rising and God Soul. We have the Soul series for that. We got the Angel series. But we also have like steel print paintings and stuff like that. We have a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to be coming. I got some new series that are going to be dropping out soon. As far as the merch goes, thanks for tuning in. Just remember, again, I'll go ahead and say it a fourth time. When you start seeing those manga style carousels blowing up your feed, and you see, or like comic book style carousels with all these pictures and all the shit looks fire, but it's all for all these different brands and all their different messaging. I made that. That started here. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe on here. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. See what I'm gonna do with that next. Damn, it's always a fuckload of y'all pop in once I'm about to hop off. But I'll just leave it at that. Hadus Ashuk, that's divine love, or Ashuk. Peace. Wadu.